To build anything that truly lasts, it takes time.
Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. I'm Hina Gambhir. This is Times Now Live. Viewers, AI 171, a story of both sorrow and suspense, a story of tragedy, mystery, and an urgent quest for answers. The Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, AAIB, has released its preliminary report on the catastrophic crash of Air India flight AI 171. It was a Boeing Dreamliner, Boeing 7878. Now, that fell from the sky just 32 seconds after takeoff from Ahmedabad on 12th of June. Now, this disaster, viewers, claimed 260 lives, 241 passengers and crew members, including former Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani, and 19 souls on the ground. Only one passenger survived. The report, a chilling 15 pages of raw data and some unsettling clues, throws up clues but nothing conclusive. In fact, it throws up more questions than answers. Just imagine a state-of-the-art Dreamliner bound for London Gatwick roars down the runway, the wheels lift, the plane climbs 625 feet into the air, and then, in a heartbeat, it's all over. The aircraft plummets, nose up, into a medical hospital complex, engulfed in flames. For weeks, viewers, the world has been asking, what went wrong? And today, the AAIB's preliminary findings pull back the curtain, and what they reveal is as shocking as it is perplexing. The report zeroes in on a heart-stopping detail. Both engines of the Dreamliner lost fuel supply merely seconds after takeoff. Yes, you heard that right. Both engines, starved of fuel, fell silent mid-air. Cockpit audio recovered from the black box captures a moment between two pilots. One pilot asks, "Why did you cut off?" He was referring to the fuel. The other responds, "I didn't." The fuel control switches, the report notes, had gone from run to cut off one after another. Now, this revelation raises more questions than answers. The report, viewers, also gives a clean chit to Boeing and the engine manufacturer here, GE. And now, viewers, we have a reaction coming in from the Aviation Minister as well. This is the first reaction of the Aviation Minister on the prelim report. Here's what Ram Mohan Naidu, the Civil Aviation Minister, has to say.
It was a very challenging task, and regarding the report, this is a preliminary report right now, and from the ministry we are analyzing the report, but I think it would be better if we can comment on it once the final report comes in. So we are coordinating with the AIB also. Whatever support or resources they need, we'll be providing to them, but AIB will be the primary investigating agency into this, and we are hoping that as soon as possible the final report also comes in so that we can arrive at some conclusions. So right now, like the report has only stated within that there are multiple other things also that need to be looked into before preparing the final report. So we want the final report to come in to look at things. So let us wait till then. I don't think we should jump into any conclusions on this. I truly believe we have the most wonderful workforce in terms of pilots and the crew in the whole world. I have to appreciate all the efforts the pilots and the crew in this country are putting into the aviation. They are the backbone of this civil aviation. They are the primary resource of civil aviation, and we care for the welfare and the well-being of our pilots also. So let's not jump to any conclusions at this stage. Let us wait for the final report.
So, viewers, you heard what the Civil Aviation Minister had to say. We have to wait for the final report to really come out, and then only one can conclusively say what really led to the crash. And what is very, very important here is that, viewers, the report that has been released, it does not determine, it does not give us details as to what caused the fuel switches to move. Remember, immediately fuel supply was cut to both engines. That caused them to lose power. But what really was the reason behind it? We do not know. Whether it was human action, whether it was some kind of a mechanical failure or some kind of an electronic malfunction. Now, these are the aspects we do not have any idea about what could have led to it. So in a way, what we have got for you right now, viewers, is the details that have emerged. And then, of course, we are analyzing these details with our experts on Times Now. One of them being the fuel switch is under focus. Engine 1 and 2 fuel switches transition from run to cut off. This is what happened. Both engines' fuel switches cut off with a time gap of just 1 second. Now, how did that happen? How can something like this happen? Remains a mystery. Apart from that, viewers, engines' RPMs begin to fall as fuel supply to engine was cut off. Now, this is what the details, this is what we have found in the report. It mentions the details of what they, saw happening when the pilots, when the plane actually took off. And then another important aspect that has been mentioned in the report is that one pilot asks, why did you cut off the fuel switch? The other one is denying it. So this is the only excerpt of the conversation that happened between two pilots that has been put out by AAIB in this report. We don't know anything else about the conversation that happened between the pilots. Now, seconds later, engine 1 switch transitions from cutoff to run, which means that there was, in fact, attempt to relight. There was, in fact, attempt to restart, to salvage the situation as well. That perhaps, but it was too late. Now, viewers, Times Now reports from the flight simulator to understand what happened in those crucial 31 odd seconds of flight, which claimed the lives of 241 passengers who were inside the aircraft, along with pilots and 10 crew members. The total death toll, remember, was 270. Now, as per Air India's report, the pilots attempted to restart the engines 13 seconds after liftoff. Over to you, Priyank.
Yes, certainly, Hina. That's the million-dollar question, that what happened in this particular time period, because for 31 seconds the flight was in the air, starting from the time it took a lift from the ground. At 3 seconds, what we got to know, we are in this flight simulator. This is Airbus 320. I'm joined by Captain Alok Singh, who will be describing it for the viewers that what exactly happened in this time period. Basically, sir, thank you for talking to the Times Now. We would like to know that at 3 seconds, it is showing that 180 knots speed was received, which was more than what was desired. Then from 4 to 5 seconds, the pilot had a conversation that why did you switch off the engine. Second one said, I did not. So from 6 seconds till 13 seconds, when they actually mentioned that the flight was attempted to be restarted, what happened? So please tell us, because people are eagerly waiting to have an expert opinion like yours.
Basically, absolutely. As per Airbus or Boeing procedures, emergency procedures, the pilots are trained immediately to restart the engine. In this kind of scenario, we also call it relighting the engine. And there is a system called EEC, which is engine electronic control. In situations like this, if single engine or both the engines fail, immediately the EEC goes into action and it gives continuous ignition to the engines, and it also tries to relight the engine.
Sir, that's a too much technical aspect. I would request my video journalist to, go back. So at 3 seconds, if you're a senior pilot, I'm the co-pilot, the speed is of 180. I tell you that why have you switched off? You say that you don't. Then what happens after? How is it possible that I can switch off both the engines? And can you please show the placement?
Okay, so as you can...
Hina, I would like my viewers to focus on this so they can understand that the flight is right now in the air. Yeah.
Actually, if you look here, this is engine number 1. This is engine number 1, engine number 2. In Airbus, we call it master switches. In Boeing, we call it fuel shut-off. So basically, all they are doing is supplying fuel.
So I took a lift.
Yes. So in this particular case, the pilots, they advance the throttle for takeoff. Yeah. And aircraft accelerated to a speed of 180 knots.
Can you please go to the 180
Yes, for that we have to release the parking brake and we are increasing the thrust.
So this is happening in between these 3 seconds?
Not in between these 3 seconds. Right now the aircraft has started rolling to achieve a speed of 180 knots.
Where can we see that?
So right here, if you can see, your airspeed is increasing,
Yeah.
and this is in knots.
Yeah.
So like when we reach approximately 155.
So there you can see, right in front of you, their simulator is showing that the speed is being achieved. So please continue.
And as you can see, that this is the trend arrow, and airspeed is constantly increasing. That means both the engines were producing enough thrust during the takeoff.
Okay. So now we have this.
And they are providing takeoff thrust to the engines.
Yeah.
And as we are reaching, as you can see, still this airspeed is
140.
140.
150.
That will correspond to approximately 180 kilometers per hour. Now this airspeed has increased. And
So we
now
are taking off. It's 1, 2, 3. Now I am telling you why have you switched off.
At this time, if you see, both the engines has been switched off.
Okay, exactly at this time. So you have to actually lift it.
Absolutely.
And now it's started getting descending. There, would you show it? That is a horrific thing which we have seen it on the CCTV. So the flight is right now coming down after 3 seconds.
And now the FedEx.
The sound. What is this sound, sir?
These are mechanical systems which are going into the mode where they are giving up.
Yeah.
And also at this time, what is happening?
Please continue. Please continue. Because
no, we have to freeze it in order to demonstrate.
Yeah.
Because since we have lost both these engines, the engine electronic control, it will try to automatically give continuous ignition to the engine to enable the pilots to start the engines. So at this time,
So you have to lift it and do it.
Yes.
It's not like that I can randomly put my hand in.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So they, as per memory item, as per pilots' emergency procedures, they started to try they tried to start the
Exactly
engines.
in 30 seconds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the engine did not responded. One engine responded for the startup. It started to spool up, but it was too late because by the time the aircraft already crashed.
So what happened once you restarted? Like around.
Once we restarted, you will see the engine parameters going up, whichever engine is coming up, and if they had enough altitude and the engine had enough time to spool up, they would have come back and landed safely.
Sir, what the report says, it's an initial report that what happened.
Yes.
Like 3W and 1H, this is what we learn in journalism to, give a reply to our viewers.
Yes.
What has been replied, how and why is yet to be described.
Okay, so as you are aware, in this fact-finding report or preliminary investigation report, it has been clearly established the cockpit voice recorder, the conversation that took place between both the pilots.
Yeah.
Immediately after takeoff, when the engine failed, when they lost the thrust, the captain asked the co-pilot, did you turn the fuel shut-off valve off? So he immediately replied, no, I did not. So that establishes the fact that it was not a deliberate action. It points towards, I cannot deny anything, but it points towards some technical malfunction.
So basically, for summarizing it for viewers, these are the two engine switch which is being considered as a reason because of which the flight has gone down. Hina, you have to lift it, pull it back to switch off. That is engine number 1. So engine number 2, you will have to lift it and pull it back. It is not like that I am flying this aircraft, my hand just come here, or any, like in this is a kind of speed, accelerator, whatever it is, technically not thrust levers. So whatever it happens, thrust lever can go up and backward just by push of the hand, but the engine have to be restarted and switched off like this only. I hope I'm not wrong, sir.
Yes, this is a Airbus switch, and Boeing also has the similar
kind of switches.
Yes, they have safety features similar. So, and in fact, there is an FAA advisory, FAA, which is Federal Aviation Administration, advisory regarding the malfunction of these switches, which came some time back, but it was a voluntary advisory. So
how can this malfunction happen? Like
over a period
can it get stuck?
No, over a period of time, these are all sensor-based switches. So over a period of time, this FAA says, I'm not saying it, FAA has said that over a period of time, due to wear and tear, these switches can malfunction. So that's also a possibility.
So there was video of the same aircraft when it took off from Delhi. It landed in Ahmedabad. The passenger shot the video and she showed that multiple screens were not working. Can that kind of thing?
No. That is for the from the cabin. It has nothing to do with the systems in the cockpit.
So Hina, I'm again going back. This is what this meter shows the speed level. The speed level was 180. We are right now at a speed of 140. Then this is a thrust lever which cannot be pulled back just like this. But these two engine switches were the biggest, in fact, it is the biggest thing which need to clear the answer that what could have happened in this unfortunate flight which took life of more than 270 people, 241 passengers, 10 crew members, 2 pilots, and those doctors who died in the hospital. I hope we were able to explain it to our viewers that what exactly could have happened and clear the doubts. Back to you in the studio.
Well, absolutely. That was a comprehensive report, Priyank. Thank you very much for joining us live and helping the viewers understand what really happens inside the cockpit and what and how do these engine fuel cutoff switches really look like. So now, of course, we'll have to wait and watch as more details are going to emerge, which will perhaps tell us what really went wrong. Why did this plane crash? Because this preliminary report we thought is going to give us answers. The entire country was waiting for answers, but it has thrown more questions than answers really as to what really happened on 12th of June. Thank you, Priyank, for the moment for joining us with your inputs on this particular story. And let me also welcome my guests who are joining us live right now. We have retired Air Vice Marshal Nitin Vaidya, who is an ATC expert, joining us live right now. Dr. Sumit Suseelan, who is an aviation expert, also live with us, and Dr. Vandana Singh, an aviation expert, also live with us. Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. Air Vice Marshal Nitin Vaidya, I want to begin by asking you, in a way, in the nutshell, if I look at this preliminary report, it says that both engine fuel cutoff switches transition from run to cutoff position, one after the other, and the time gap was just 1 second. And then suddenly there was a cut in the fuel supply to both the engines, causing them to lose power. And going by the details that are mentioned in this report, we can say that attempts were made to salvage the situation as well. I want to ask you, what is your understanding of these preliminary findings? What do they tell you?
In terms of the report per se, I wish the report was more in detail, specifically with reference to the conversation that took place in the cockpit between the pilots. Because right now you see pilot 1 speaking and pilot 2 answering. You can't really decipher as to who's the pilot 1 and who's the pilot 2. And I'm sure the cockpit voice recorder would have had details because it took nearly 24 minutes before the aircraft from pushback to the takeoff. So there would have been a lot of conversation that would have taken place. And probably if that was a part of the preliminary report, we would have been more aware as to what was the crew cockpit management who gave a call and who's the one who answered. Right now, with uncertainties, you can only speculate. So, in terms of speculation, it is not correct to say who said what and who did what, for the simple reason that unfortunately nobody is alive. Like in the Air Force, we say whenever an unfortunate crash happens, that the pilot may be responsible for it, but he is not blameworthy right now, primarily because he is not alive to give us a statement of this, to give his point of version. So with this report, it comes back to the same thing as to since none of the people are unfortunately alive, nobody is going to tell us exactly what happened, so you're speculating. I wish the report was more in detail to give us inputs than we now coming onto your channel and making a statement as to we require more details or the aviation minister saying that let's wait for the final report to come. If it would have been a more comprehensive report, even though a preliminary report, I think more answers would have been given, and that would have led to a better understanding of what happened, primarily because the last point I want to make is when the report says that there is no advisory given or no instructions given to either the Boeing or the General Electric, that is the engine, I am not too certain when you say that if there could have been a malfunction as to why these two agencies have been kept out of the loop. If there is a malfunction which needs to be addressed, then let us get these two people also in the loop to the extent that they need to also answer and investigate and find out as to why, if this has happened, why it has happened.
Absolutely. Now, that's an important point because an FAA advisory of 2018 is also mentioned in this particular preliminary report. And Dr. Vandana, I want to ask you about your assessment. It does not really tell us what caused the fuel switches to move. You know, how they transition from run to cutoff position. Now, that's a fact. It happened. What led to it? That remains a mystery. While there are so many experts, you know, around the country today who are jumping the gun here and saying that it can be a human error as well. But can we really rule out a mechanical failure or maybe an electronic malfunction? Do you think it's too early to also give a clean chit to the, the aircraft manufacturer and the engine maker in this case?
Absolutely. You just hit the nail over there. And that's what I've been saying right from the beginning, that all the stakeholders need to be involved, which is Boeing, which is GE, which is Air India, all of it, engineering, maintenance, all the stakeholders. That's number one. Number two is that we can clearly now see about the fuel switches, but the word being used is transition. Transition, what does it mean? Why is the word movement not used? Why is it called transition? Could it be a FedEx? I've been saying this right from the beginning. Full authority digital engine control, the main brain, the main computer of the aircraft, of the Dreamliner. Could not that be decoded? Can't we go deep into that and see what went wrong? Absolutely. It could be a malfunction. It could be a miscommand of the FedEx that caused electrical, software, mechanical glitch that we are calling. And definitely with the pilot one telling the pilot two, whether that was captain telling the co-pilot or co-pilot telling the pilot, the main captain, did you switch that off? And he's saying negative. Those are the words of a dying man. Now, obviously, they tried to salvage it. One of the engines came back on. But look at the height. They were just at 625 feet.
Yes.
And at 625 feet, what magic do we expect? If it was, at least their main aim was to take it to 2,000 or 1,500, 2,000 feet and then try to see what to do.
So in the best of their capability at that point in time, given the circumstances, they did try to do whatever they could. That's, of course, the sense we are getting. Dr. Vandana, I'm just interrupting you there. Request you to stay on.